It's time now for our first performer of the evening, and it is Ann Johnson!
I'm the oldest person up here tonight. Just FYI.
Really?
She's like
Are
a
you
little baby. She could be my daughter.
Okay.
Almost. Yeah. Okay. Hi. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me again. Yeah. There's a lot of basic jokes about how, like, men don't understand women, or women don't understand men, or old people don't understand young people. Young people don't understand old people. But I thought I'd talk about menopause. Because that's relevant. Well, start with talking about menstruation. When the first American woman, Sally Ride, went into space, the rocket scientists asked her, how many tampons did she think she needed? Marsha Belsky has a great song about it, right? 100 tampons. But at least they asked. You know, at least they knew that they should ask. Because we don't know what we don't know, right? That's always difficult. You don't know what to ask if you don't know what you don't know. And so at least they had the sense to ask. Menstruation. You know, we don't know what we don't know. We don't know, and on the one hand, we know more about each other than we did before because we have the internet. And on the other hand, we have less information than we did before because the internet isn't always right. And like schools are underfunded. We studied puberty in school. We studied puberty at the worst possible time. We studied it while we were going through it, right? Bunch of sweaty, nervous, prepubescent teenagers working really hard to not make eye contact with each other. Puberty is when your body decides to shift from being a child to being an adult. Right? There's that shift. I wasn't ready. I got breasts when I was 10. I had pimples. I was sweating and it smelled really bad, you know? And we were going through this all at the same time, but I felt very much alone. And and then I started my period. I started menstruating when I was 13. And I felt like so happy because all of my friends had it or told me that they had it. And I was afraid that I was just not ever going to, but then I did, which was awesome. And I called my grandma, like, Grandma, guess what? You got my period. And she was like, oh, I was so happy when mine stopped. And I thought she was probably lying, because it was so great. But like now, I think, oh, so much money that I spent on feminine products. Right? The white pants I was afraid to wear. All the secret language that we have around it. All the euphemisms, the things that we say, like period, you know, or like surfing the crimson wave. The red flag. One time I was on a date with this woman and she went to the bathroom. She was gone for such a long time that I thought she ghosted me, you know? Always awkward at a pizza restaurant. Do you eat the rest? But she came back finally and she was like, oh, I'm really sorry. I ran into a friend in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, no euphemism. No, but she ran into a friend in the bathroom. A visit from your Aunt Flo. I've noticed now that like people are more comfortable talking about it. Like people people are happy to acknowledge now that about half of the population is going through this. It's like, it's not, I mean, friends will just hand each other tampons like they're drugs, right? Like, it's a little secretive, but it's, you know, we're a little more open about it, I guess, now, these things that we go through, the Red Sea, the elevator in The Shining. I was an ugly child. I was an unusually ugly child. There's photographs. It was something. And like, I kind of grew out of it, but I had that ugly kid inside of me, and I felt really bad when I was 15. I was talking to my mom, and I said, it's really hard to be ugly. And my mom said, it's much more important that you're smart. And I thought, wow, even she thinks, my own mother. But, you know, it's when I started puberty, you know, I had a lot of attention suddenly from older people, from men. And when you're a woman, I think especially, you enter the world physically. You're constantly being evaluated for who you are physically. I mean, everybody's evaluating everybody, but I think it's harder for, I'm gonna say, a 15-year-old me. It was hard to be evaluated physically for such a long time. And then as you get older, you go from being extremely visible all the time to being sometimes invisible. And I think that if I had thought I was beautiful, or if I hadn't been smart, like, it would have been harder for me. You know, she had a point. Menopause. Menopause is when your body moves along, kind of does a little Marie Kondo with the hormones. Some parts of you are not sparking joy. Ooh. Some people, apparently, wake up one day and they're done. I wish that for any of you. I wish to just that moment of like, oh, hey, you know what? It's been a while since. Yep. Some people, it gets a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter, and then it goes away. That also is something that I would wish for you. I got my period really heavy, intensely painful, distracting, can't leave the house level stuff twice a month for more than 2 years. Once for an entire month, just the whole month. Just like that. You know, and they say you have to go for a whole year without, and then it's menopause. Up until then, it's like perimenopause. So you have this whole year that you have to go. And I'd go like 6 months, and I'd be like, it's been 6 months. Throw myself a little party. 6 months felt like a year. You know, yay. And I'd throw myself a party, and like literally that night, it would be Shark Week. It would be the communists back in the fun house. It was like, seriously so bad. But now I've you're welcome. But yeah, so now I've been through the year, and now but that was I really, the whole time I thought I was losing my mind, you know, and I was the hot flashes, hot flashes, and yeah, it's not funny. You know, it's why your mom wears a cardigan, in case the temperature suddenly shifts so she doesn't take off her clothes. Like, if your mom's wearing a cardigan, be nice to her. Be nice, actually, on principle, be nice to anyone wearing a cardigan, because they've probably been through some shit. You know? There aren't a lot of euphemisms for menopause. Right, there's like all these like great euphemisms for menstruating, and there's not a lot for menopause. Like there's the baby factory is closed. And I was thinking, it's Cardigan time. But people might think I'm talking about Taylor Swift. I don't know. It might not work. When I was a teenager, I said a lot of attention from older people, and now I don't get that much attention. It's kind of like being invisible. Like, I could probably, if I was just going about my own business, I could probably rob a bank. You know, sometimes it pisses me off, but I do see that there are advantages. Like when I go to the drugstore, nobody follows me around anymore. I'm not gonna shoplift. I look like a nice lady. I noticed that one of the things about being this age is that, and being invisible, is that if I do raise my voice, one of two things happens. Either people try to shut me down. You know, they say you're old, you're frumpy. They call you names to make you quiet, me quiet. Or they pay attention, which is nice. One time I was talking to my friend on the phone. I didn't know what I was going through. I was talking to my friend on the phone, and we were on a Zoom call. And I had a cardigan. And I was taking it off and putting it on, and taking it off and putting it on, and I didn't know to ask anybody for help. I thought I was just going through a very difficult time mentally. And my friend said, "Do you know that you've taken off your cardigan 6 times in this conversation?" And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Yeah, and I think you're going through menopause." No, because I've got my period all the time. She said, "No, I think this is menopause. I think this is, and you will get through this. It may take some time, but you will get through this." Thank God somebody told me, because I'm not a rocket scientist. I didn't know I was supposed to ask. So she told me that this is something that I was just going to go through. And the reason that I want to talk to you is because maybe you don't know, right? So I'm telling you. Maybe it will be over very quickly, but maybe it won't. But you will get through it. And when you get through it, when you get to the other side, like 0 fucks given. Like, I mean, people will say that, no, I mean, I care about everything. I care about everything so much. I care about what you think of me, but generally speaking, now I care so much less what people think of me. I will go everywhere in my sweatpants. But like, you just care less. And I'm a person, I care about grammar. You know, I care about grammar on a menu, like, but now I care less. It's not like no fucks given, but it's like less fucks, fewer. And and I'm thinking about this, that like when people say, oh, past a certain age, women are unfuckable. I want to shift that. You know, I want to be unfuckwithable. Thank you. And I think like we don't know what we don't know, and we don't think, you know, I thought my grandma didn't understand me. I thought my mom didn't understand me, but like my grandma wasn't wrong, you know? And my mom wasn't wrong either. Like, my plan now that I'm unfuckwithable, my plan now is to gather a group of similarly bright, unfuckable with power people, and we can rob a bank together. And then we could take the money and use it to change the world. Who's with me? Yes? Thank you so much.